lesson. For the next couple of minutes, we will begin and give an introduction to New Testament Greek. I know a number of you have either heard of Greek, read it, studied it, or maybe you are about to study Greek. And of course, some of you have probably heard from friends and families who've told you Greek is very difficult, or maybe those who've told you it is impossible. And well, I want to encourage you. Well, it's true that it's difficult to learn Greek, just like it is to learn any new language. But as we begin, I want to promise you that we will, of course, go step by step. I'll introduce what this course is and why it's important. And then for every lesson, we will just do chunks that are enough for you to be able to watch and study and review and repeat as well. And of course, what we'll be doing is with my contract and the link, you will be able to send me information and I can have you get the notes that you need. All right. Now, I will be primarily using this book. Some of you might have seen it. It's called Learn to Read New Testament Greek. It's written by a professor called David Allen Black. David Allen Black is a professor of New Testament at Southeastern Baptist Theological Seminary. He's a great scholar, and what he's done with this book is he's really simplified the book and made it easy for anyone to at least read and be able to pick on from there. All right. Now, as we talk about Greek, I want to first help us understand why this language, right? Now, when you read in Galatians, Paul says something in Galatians that at the right time, at the appointed time, what happened? Jesus Christ was born. God sent his son to be born of a woman, born of the Lord, right? But when he says at the right time, what did Paul mean? Well, there are a lot of factors, right? And part of that is at the time when Jesus is born, well, there are a lot of political things that have happened, but one of the blessing, if I can use it, of all the troubles that the world of the time had gone through was that because of Alexander the Great, the son of Philip of Macedonia, who had conquered the known world of the time, bringing an end to the Medo-Persian Empire, he established the Greek Empire. And what he did was to make sure that all over the Greek Empire that people learned his language, which was Greek. And so Greek became the world language of the time. Wherever you were, if you knew Greek, you'd be fine. And everyone got to know Greek. So besides the ethnic tribal language, if you can use it, Greek was like the national or the international, the empire-wide language that was used and spoken by everyone. Right now, the one we're going to do, our focus is on the New Testament Greek, right, which is what we call the Koine Greek. Now, the Koine Greek comes from the word koine, which is common, literally common Greek. And the reason for the Koine Greek is because at the time of Jesus, in the entire Mediterranean world, literally the entire Roman Empire, all the way to Rome, you'd find that Greek was a language that was used, a language of commerce, a language of business, a language of communication all over. So, for example, in Rome, you'd find Latin was used as much as Greek was used, right? And because Greek was an empire-wide language, when God was using the men he used to write the New Testament book, the 27 books that we have in our Bible, they used Greek. And why did they use Greek? Because all over the known world of the time, Greek was a language that was spoken by everyone. And so it would have been easier for communication, right? And so I just want to pick a book right now and kind of just show you a bit. Just a minute. So this, He Kaine Theotheke, this is a New Testament Greek. the entire Greek book, of course, it is, you probably at least can see the Greek writings there. And right now, it probably looks like a decoration for you. And our goal is at least for you to be able to, at the end of all the lessons, to be able to read uh, this book. All right. So let us get to it. All right. And say introduction to the New Testament Greek. Now, for every language, when you begin studying the language, the first thing is that you need to know is the alphabet. Whether you are studying Hebrew, in this case, another Bible language, or you're studying Latin, which was, because of uh, the Jerome's Latin Vulgate translation of the scripture in the 4th century, or you're studying Greek, or you're studying Spanish, or French, or German, or Dutch, or whichever language you're studying, the first step to understanding that language is one, mastering and understanding that alphabetical system. Right? Now, Greek has 24 alphabetical letters. And once you understand these 24 letters of the Greek alphabet, you will be able to begin writing. And so the focus of this is going to be to introduce us to the Greek alphabet, teach us how to write the Greek alphabet, but also how to recognize the Greek alphabet and what name, what sound does it bring, so that as we get into other lessons along the way, you will already know how to write the alphabet and you'll already know how to pronounce it. And then by the time we introduce the phonemes and the morphemes and the structuring of the lexical stem, you will already know what letter is being put together to bring about this word. Okay, so say that there are 24, right? There are 24 letters, okay, in the Greek system, in the Greek alphabetical system. And in each of this letter, of course, you notice, however, that out of these 24 letters, that it's short, for example, in the English alphabet, we have 26, right? However, you will discover as we will study that out of these 24 letters, certain letters are repeated. So, for example, I want to kind of put this before we begin looking at the first letter of the alphabet, okay? So, for example, you will discover when we go along the way that where there's the English equivalent of or and the English equivalent of e, Greek has two different letters that's equivalent to o, and Greek also has two different letters that is equivalent to the English e, which mean already out of the 24, if you remove two others, the actual alphabetical letters that is unique, that is similar to what we have in the English alphabet, you would have 22, literally, right? And so this is very, very important to note, okay? So let me erase this and introduce us to our very first alphabet. And the first alphabet is alpha, right? Now, at least if you've read the Bible, then you already know at least two letters of the Greek alphabet. That is alpha and omega. Because so when the Bible talks about Jesus, and Jesus mentions this in the book of Revelation, says, I am the alpha and I am the omega. The two letters and what Jesus uses there are the Greek alphabetical letters, and alpha is the first letter, and then omega is the last letter of the alphabet. Okay, so technically, when Jesus said, I am the Alpha and the Omega. So you notice this, you have the first letter of the alphabet, and you have the last letter of the alphabet, and you have everything in between, right? That means if you remove alpha, you will remove omega, and so literally you remove the alphabet. What do you have? Well, can you create anything? Can you create a word or say anything without the alphabet? Can you say anything or proclaim, pronounce, or create or do anything without the letters? No, you cannot, right? And therefore, it's like we need the letters to be able to communicate and create and say things. Jesus was saying, you remove me from the equation, you don't have anything. Once you remove Christ, you don't have anything. All right. So the first letter of the Greek alphabet is alpha. Now, this alpha, when you look at it, okay, uh, it is kind of open. Just wanted to see if I could show you. Now, how we're going to start this is we're going to see how it is written in the uppercase, but then we'll also see how it's written in the lowercase, which is what you call capital letter or and small letter. But then we'll look at its English equivalent. Okay. Now, so in the uppercase for alpha, the uppercase is exactly how the English capital A or uppercase A appears. It's very important. All right. And then in the lowercase, it's very similar, very almost very close to the English A. It's something like that. Okay. Then, of course, this is equivalent to the English A, like you say in the father, that A. You getting? Now, the second letter of the alphabet is beta. Okay. Now, beta in the uppercase is just like the English uppercase B, letter B. And so it's exactly just that. Okay. Now, the lowercase, or what you call the small letter for the second letter of the Greek alphabet, is in a way similar to the uppercase. Difference is, so you notice in the uppercase, when you look at the H's, there's a sharp H here and a sharp H. Right. Now, with it, when you are writing, you begin with a tail. So this one is going to have a tail. So think of this, imagine something like this, right? But then with a curve, it's not sharp here. And then this part is like a tail coming down. Right? But when you're writing it, you begin with the tail, begin from down, and then you go up, and then you bring the first part, and then bring the second part. You got it? Begin with the tail and then do the curve first and then the second one. You see it? So that is the lowercase, or what you'd call the small letter for the Greek alphabet, beta, or the second letter of the alphabet. Okay, so that is, of course, equivalent to the English letter B. And then the third is gamma. All right. You have, of course, if you've started, physics and some of the science courses, then you know what we're talking about. Gamma is one of the letters that is used. Now, the way gamma is written, all right. Now, gamma is, so think of the letter 7. Okay, think of letter 7, like the English letter 7 that is written. So of course, this is the English letter 7, right? Without, so think of letter 7, but without that cross in between and in the middle. All right, think of something like that. But then you flip it the other way, right? Or if I was to use the word, write something like this and then slide this, right? So we're sliding this to come this way. So we are sliding it there. You notice that? Okay. So it's like you're writing 7, but tilted. And so this is gamma uppercase. All right. And then the lowercase, it's almost like you're writing the English Y. Now, difference, of course, if you are writing the English Y, like the uppercase, this is English Y, right? And of course, lowercase, we normally write it something like this, right? However, when you are writing the uppercase Y, I mean gamma, it's like writing Y something like this, and then there's this, something like that. You notice that? So the idea is that on the right hand side, there's like a straight curve. And then for this curve, which would be like what you have as a U, it's not something like this, but it begins with a curve on the outside. You get the idea? Now, so with it, so it's something. Okay. Now this is your, it's very close to your English Y. Difference is for gamma, you don't have this curve underneath here, right? You notice that curve, a bit straight. And this is equivalent to the English G, all right? So just want to stop there and give you opportunity to practice this. Please just practice this plus 3 letters, alpha, beta, gamma. And we will then continue in the next lesson from the fourth letter. So you will have done alpha, beta, gamma, then we'll go through to delta, and epsilon, and zeta, and as we continue along with the alphabet, all right? Please study, practice, be patient with yourself. It may feel like that you've not mastered this, feels like it's taking long for you to get it, but you will eventually. All right. Thank you. Take a look at that again. Alpha, just equivalent to the uppercase, just like our English A, and the lowercase, very close to our English lowercase a, and then the beta, which is the second letter, uppercase is just like our English uppercase B, and the lowercase has a tail and a curve on top, and then that's equivalent to our B. And the gamma, it's like you're writing 7 but slanted, flipped on the other side for the uppercase, or what you call the capital letter, and for the small letter or the lowercase, it's like you're writing the English Y, but on the left side, you have a curve on it. All right. So practice that and let's meet in the next class. All right.